When God speaks and we don't listen, there's a quiet ache that comes when we realize how often God has spoken and we've kept walking. Sometimes it's not rebellion that silences us, but distraction. Other times, pride whispers that our way is better. Yet through it all, God keeps speaking through His Word, His Spirit, and the gentle weight of conviction. Isaiah reminds us that when we stop listening, it's not God who grows silent, it's our hearts that grow hard. In Isaiah, we see God drawing a clear line between those who seek Him and those who reject Him. He brings salvation to the humble and judgment to the proud. Yet in our modern world, we often struggle with this truth. We've lifted up our own hearts as the standard, measuring God by our sense of fairness rather than submitting ourselves to His Holy One. Isaiah doesn't soften the message. In chapter 65, he speaks plainly about God's justice and mercy, words that still confront us today. I will bring forth offspring from Jacob, and from Judah possessors of my mountains. My chosen shall possess it, and my servant shall dwell there. Sharon shall become a pasture for flocks, and the valley of Achor a place for herds to lie down, for my people who have sought me. But you who forsake the Lord, who forget my holy mountain, who set a table for fortune and fill cups of mixed wine for destiny, I will destine you to the sword, and all of you shall bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, you did not answer. When I spoke, you did not listen, but you did what was evil in my eyes and chose what I did not delight in. Isaiah 65, 9-12. Here, Isaiah shows the stark contrast between those who seek God and those who forsake Him. Salvation and protection belong to those who pursue Him with sincerity. But throughout the book, Isaiah exposes the hypocrisy of those who only go through the motions, offering sacrifices, praying, and keeping appearances while their hearts remain proud, unjust, and self-serving. God's heart is always with those who humble themselves before Him, who show compassion to the weak, and who worship not only outwardly, but from a heart purified by love and obedience. Still, we're tempted to protest God's judgment. We read words like, I will destine you to the sword, and recoil as though we have the right to put God on trial, as if we are more righteous, more merciful, or more reasonable than the Holy One. We might whisper in our hearts, isn't God being too harsh? But that question reveals the very arrogance Isaiah condemned. Like Israel of old, we too can live as though God's ways are optional, as if outward religion could cover an inward rebellion. The real question is not whether God is fair, but whether our hearts are open. Do we truly seek Him, or are we content to walk our own way? God reveals Himself to those who want to find Him. If our hearts are humble and honest, we will see His hand and hear His voice. But if we're set on our own will, we'll find Him hidden, not because He wants to remain unseen, but because we refuse to look. Isaiah's message still rings true. Every one of us stands in one of two places. We either seek the Lord or forsake Him. Centuries later, Jeremiah echoed this truth in God's promise of a new covenant. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, declares the Lord. I will put my law within them, and I will write it on their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Jeremiah 31:33-34. We live in the light of that covenant. The gospel is reaching the ends of the earth. Those who seek can still find. Those who turn away often do so not from ignorance, but from indifference. Most of us reading these words already know the Lord, but how deeply we know Him and how we respond to His kingship depends on the condition of our hearts. Do we have a heart that seeks God or one that forsakes Him? Isaiah leaves no middle ground. What truth from this passage speaks most deeply to you today? Share your thoughts in the comments. We grow together as we reflect on His Word.